Hello guys, it's John from Driving Auto with a quick one here. How to tell if your head gasket is actually blown. Now, one of the ways to tell if your head gasket is blown is when you notice white smoke coming out of your exhaust pipe. This is a good sign of a combustion leakage. If you notice this, it means coolant is finding its way into the combustion chamber of your vehicle's engine. In the process of burning this coolant, you notice vapor-like smoke coming out of your exhaust pipe. This can cause your engine coolant to reduce over time and in the long run cause an overheating. Now, another way to know if you have a blown head gasket is when you notice oil in the coolant, oil mixed up in your coolant, or when you sight oil in the coolant reserve tank. When you notice oil in that particular tank, this is also a sign of a blown head gasket, but this is not 100% assurance because some engines come with a heat exchanger, or what we call the oil cooler, and this particular part works just like how the radiator works, but it serves the purpose of cooling the engine oil as the engine runs. This particular part cools down the oil, and when this part goes bad, it tends to mix your coolant and then the oil together. It mixes these two together, and then that mixture comes out into the reserve tank or the radiator tank. So you have to investigate further to know if it's actually a blown head gasket that is causing this, or whether the heat exchanger is the cause of this. And so sighting oil in your coolant reserve tank or your radiator tank is not 100% assurance that you have a blown head gasket, and that is why you need to investigate further. When you notice bubbles coming out of your radiator tank, out of the neck of your radiator tank, this is also a good sign of a combustion leakage. And on top of that, when you remove your radiator filler tank, the cap, when you remove the radiator cap and you tend to start the engine, you notice a large burst of coolant rushing out of your radiator neck. This is a strong sign of a combustion leak. This happens as a result of combustion gases escaping past your blown head gaskets. And this current flow of escaping combustion gases is what pushes the engine coolant out of the radiator neck. Now, one other way to know if you have a blown head gasket is when you have a milky engine cap or a milky radiator cap. If you remove your engine cap and you notice that the neck is looking extremely milky, that is a good sign that your head gasket is blown. However, it's also not 100% assurance that you have a blown head gasket. The reason being that an engine sludge, which might be caused by a bad PCV or a bad engine coolant, as I mentioned earlier. Now, some may also notice a rapid rise in the temperature gauges of their vehicle, even though they may not have driven their vehicles for long. And this also needs further investigation. You know, the cooling systems, there are various components that come together to work together as a cooling system. It could be a bad radiator fan that is not working properly. You could as well have a bad thermostat, and that causes overheating as well. You can as well have temperature switches that may not be working properly. So in all this, you need to further investigate to know which is the culprit. You can as well have a specialist or a qualified mechanic run a combustion test on your vehicle's engine. And you know what? A low combustion is a sign of a combustion leakage or lack of combustion in total. As always, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more exciting and educative content to come. I'm John from Driving Auto.